Joining us now is Tim Rozon. Welcome to the show, Tim. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me.
So, we both had birthdays in early June. How was yours? How did you celebrate it?
Yeah, I got a flat tire. It was awesome.
Are you kidding me? Where? On the freeway?
No, yeah, I was driving up north for a fishing trip, and about an hour into my trip, my tire blew, so I had to turn around, put a spare on it, and turn around, and the
Oh
fishing
my
trip
gosh.
was canceled.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. So, I guess you'll
No, it
just
was
have to
great.
like,
I had a great day with my wife and son, so it ended up being perfect.
you have such a beautiful family. So, congratulations with that. I get to see, like, through social media, some of the different things that you guys are doing, which is wonderful. So, recently, you have been on this show. I guess this is like, is this the second year, the second season of Surreal Estate? So when the concept first came out, people were like, "What the heck is this?" But it looks like it's so much fun. Do you love being on that show?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. This is my third sci-fi show, back to back to back. I went from Winona Earp to Vagrant Queen to this one, and I just love the sci-fi shows. I mean, this is what I got into acting for. It's just to pretend and have fun and make believe, and that's what this one is. It's super fun.
Is that kind of who you were when you were a child? Were you that person like on the block that was like doing fun things or participating with your friends doing interesting skits and stuff?
I don't know about skits. I was kind of a loner. I did want to be an actor, however, I was very shy. But I was even in production in elementary school of Oliver Twist. I think I just played like a one of the orphans or something, but um, yeah, I'd always wanted to do it. I just was very shy growing up.
You were. Where'd you grow up? What part of the country are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Eastern Canada, from a little place called Saint Jerome. So near northern Quebec. I speak French, English.
Really? So a lot of your different roles then aren't your like because I hear your natural voice now, but I guess sometimes you're, not always using that same voice when you're acting. That's interesting. Did you work with like a dialect coach or anything for any of your roles?
I did a couple of them. I mean, there's some that I cannot do. Australian, forget about it. I mean, I remember I was supposed to screen test for this part that was Australian. I worked on it for a week with an Australian castmate of mine, and at the end, we're like, "You just can't do this, man." And I accepted my fate. Like I was just, it was awful. I was really lucky when I got the part of Doc Holliday on Wine on Earth because that accent, I seem to know. Anytime I do a cowboy, I've got that accent down pat. I think that was just inside me, ready, waiting to come out.
The first month that I moved from St. Louis to New York, I got cast and they wanted me to do a Brooklyn accent. But I grew up in the Midwest and I didn't even understand what a Brooklyn accent like sounded like. So I tried to like, research it or listen to it. I couldn't do it either. So I said, you know what? You guys just have to recast this. Now, after 20 years of living here, probably with all these different regional dialects, I could probably figure it out. But that day, I was like, I was so frustrated. There was just like no way. They're like, oh, do it like somebody from Brooklyn. I'm like, I grew up in St. Louis. I don't even know what that sounds like, right? Now, you also were on Schitt's Creek. Tell us about your experience with that. I mean, did you think it was going to be the phenomenon that it became? People started just loving it.
Well, I mean, I knew immediately I was part of something special. I mean, you have Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara there. It's already a huge deal. Plus, I could tell Dan was really, really special. Um, you could tell that was his show through and through, and there's just something very special about him. Everybody towards it gravitated towards him and his ideas, and they were really good. It was special for sure. I don't know if anybody thought it was going to be the massive, massive hit, as in Emmy winner that it was, but I'm super happy that it was. One of my favorite things in the world is that my good friend Annie Francis has a freaking Emmy because she deserves it more than anybody in the entire world. Annie Murphy is just the best person ever. I love her so much, and I'm so proud of her.
Did you keep any like mutt memorabilia? Do you have like a shirt or do you have any like muttness around you?
I don't. I really don't keep anything. I don't keep anything from a set. I'm kind of like I always feel like if I take something, then it won't come back. So I always kind of leave everything
Oh,
behind that way. For sure, I'm guaranteed another season.
I love that. So you kind of are superstitial in a way, but you have your own favorite things. How about like lucky socks? Do you like have certain lucky socks or anything?
No, lucky socks. Here, I'm gonna grab this. I took one thing.
Sure.
I took this when I was on my panel at San Diego Comic Con, just because it
Wow.
was such a
Yeah.
huge deal for me, and to know that I made it to San Diego Comic Con and got to be on a panel. I kept obviously I like comics, so
Yes.
it was a huge deal for me when I got that. So I did keep that. That was like the one thing that I've ever kept, but it wasn't a set technically.
Yeah. Oh, and you reunited. I almost just started singing reunited, but Sarah Levy, right? Project. Okay. So what was the connection there? And then fast forward to this reunited connection.
I mean, obviously we had done Schitt's Creek together, and when I got the part of Luke on Surreal Estate, immediately my first question was who was Susan, who was the leading girl, and as soon as they told me Sarah Levy, I was like, oh my goodness, this is just the best news ever, because she's so wonderful and she's so fun, and it was like both of us just called each other immediately, like, oh my God, are you doing this? You're doing this. It's you. It's so good. I'm so happy because it's like you don't have to stress. You know what I mean? If you're gonna spend that much time with people, you want to be with good people, and she's just one of the best humans around. So I was super excited, and we've had a blast the whole time.
Congratulations, because it seems like that show just seems like it is a lot of fun. Were there any type of like antics or anything in the way of like, because things on that set are like, blowing up and like this is happening, there's all these special effects and things. Was there anything that once you watched it on TV that you were surprised by? You're like, wow, that turned out incredible.
I mean, everything did. The thing about our set was, I mean, the show was about we sell haunted houses, right? So we have to deal with whatever is haunting that house before we can sell it. So we got to finish the unfinished business of that house, or our characters have our own stuff going on. But the funny thing about our show is that we filmed on a little island off the coast of Canada called Newfoundland, and supposedly the city we were in is very haunted. And now I didn't experience anything myself, but 100% of guest stars that came to the island to film with us experienced something, and a lot of them saw the same ghost, and it was a little girl. So that was pretty creepy. So I'm definitely not going to say anyone's a liar. So I just never experienced anything myself, but there's definitely stuff out there. So it's kind of creepy making this ghost show with all these guest stars coming in from all over North America, being like, there's
Wow.
something really weird happening at the bed and breakfast. Yeah, a couple people
Wow.
left, didn't leave the show, but left the bed and breakfast.
Wow. And said they wouldn't stay
And our
there.
whole crew was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's haunted. The whole place is haunted. Everybody knows about it." I'm like, okay.
I only had one experience like that. I was in Italy. I was painting. I was on a painting trip. And I was in my room or whatever. And at the middle of the night, I sat straight up and there was a figure in the corner, like a child or something definitely. And I was like, this is too weird. I know that this isn't a dream. There's something wrong. Same thing. Next morning, they're like serving like zucchini flowers, and it was a really nice place to stay. And I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Have you ever had anything strange happening in my particular room?" And she goes, "Oh yes." And I was like, it would have been nice to know ahead of time. I'm like, I don't like, maybe they don't say anything just in case you don't have that experience, or maybe they think you may not stay. I ended up staying, but I ended up sleeping with the covers like a little higher up, just in
Wow.
case. So that's kind of creepy.
Wow, I can't
But
believe you
fun
stayed in
things.
that room. That's awesome.
I did. I stayed. I stayed one more night. Well, that's because we were going on a painting trip with like 16 other friends of mine because we were all painting. And I guess all the other rooms were already taken. Plus, I'll be honest, Tim, I snore. So I didn't want to bunk with somebody because I didn't want to out myself as a snorer. So I ended up just staying, and the person or the entity didn't come back. But so each project is different. Have you ever got to like pick the name of your character, or have you ever like switched it out? Like you're playing Luke in this particular instance, but have you ever like they said, "Oh yeah, you're going to play Jeremy," and you're like, "Oh, could I be something else instead?"
No, technically, actually, Luke Roman was originally Nick. It was Nick in the first script, but I think there was an actual real estate agent by the name of Nick Roman, so they had to switch it to Luke. But I don't mind because my favorite show growing up was Beverly Hills 90210, and Luke Perry was my favorite. So I got a soft spot for all the Lukes.
And some of the characters from 90210 I've actually had on my show as well. I've had Jason Priestley on, which is fun. I was a big 90210 fan myself. You are such a delight, and I want to tell you, the camera just absolutely loves you, because as I was going through all your IMDb and everything, you know, I don't know, there's something special about you. I don't know if it's that, like, the color of your eyes or something, but it's just like, whoa, you know? So you must have picked the right profession.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I kind of want your life. Zucchini flowers on a painting trip in Italy sounds pretty good right about now.
Well, maybe we can
Minus
both
the
appear.
ghost.
Well, minus the ghost, yeah. No ghost. No ghost where I'm on this set today. But I'm happy for you. You know, you have a beautiful family. You're living the life. We both, like I said, we both recently celebrated our birthdays, and I didn't have a flat tire. But you know, in this business, you know, especially when we're recording this right now, it's a joy and a privilege to be able to get to do what we love to do for a living. And you're really good at what you do. And I'm looking forward to watching more seasons and more things. I have one other question before we wrap up. Have you written any of your own material? Is there something that you're working on, like a script that you're feeling like you want to bring forth into the reality of life?
Oddly enough, I do write comic books. So I've written a bunch of comic books, but I do have a show in development right now. I can't talk about it. I just got back from LA and had a great meeting.
Yay!
And things are going really good right now.
Awesome.
And what you said before was so right about just being grateful for how lucky we are to do this for a profession and a job, and work with wonderful people. You're really right.
Thank you. I hope that you'll come on again, especially as we, you know, go forth and we celebrate good things. And it was just a joy and a privilege to have you on. You're just awesome. You know, I'm fangirling out a little bit because you really are that talented. So it was nice to see you. I'm glad that we became friends. And a big shout out to our mutual friend Marcos. So we should wave at Marcos too. So hey, Marcos, this
That's
wave's
right.
for you.
The power journalist. How you doing, Michael?
Okay, there you go. Take care. Be well, Tim. Bye bye.